Brady Quinn asked the question, who would you rather be right now, a Giants fan or a Jets fan? And it feels like both are kind of in a similar spot to where there's major question marks about the quarterback, but it does feel like we've reached a point in the Zach Wilson criticism on the Jets side where we're kind of taking it a bit over the top. Rodney Harrison, former legendary player in the NFL for a long, long time, had a great career. Does a fine job doing the pre and post for Sunday Night Football for NBC. And he was talking post-game with Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs following the Chiefs' win over the Jets on Sunday Night Football, which we broke down yesterday on the show. And the back and forth went a little something like this when the conversation turned towards Zach Wilson.
Was Zach better tonight than what you anticipated he would be watching him on tape? And you can be honest.
Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, we knew it was going to be a battle. He's continued to get better week in and week out, and he's continued to lead week in and week out.
But watching that tape, man, you got to look at this dude and say, oh, he is garbage. Like, we should really tear him apart.
Earlier, like I said, Zach Wilson is special, man. You just got to give the guy time. You know what I mean?
Wait. Did you say Zach Wilson is special?
Yeah.
I think he had a special night, but I don't think he's special. I've got to prove that you're special because you proved it over a course of time. He's not special. I'm just saying, Chris.
Hey, listen.
I'm just saying.
So that was Rodney Harrison's back and forth with Chris Jones following the game. So
Jeez.
Zach Wilson's getting it from all fronts. Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, apparently Rodney Harrison reached out to Zach Wilson because some people definitely had issues with some of his comments. Micah Parsons was one of those who took issue with just how critical Rodney Harrison was of Zach Wilson. And so Robert Saleh of the Jets, he responded to the question about the comments and how Rodney handled it afterwards.
I heard about it, and from my understanding, Rodney this morning handled everything the right way. Rodney's a good man, and whatever he's getting for that it's water under the bridge. I think he's handled it exactly the way he's supposed to.
All right.
Translation. I agree with what Rodney said.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, come on.
Can I pick it up? Here's what I'll say is Rodney Harrison's an old school player. What you heard when he was interviewing was the player Rodney Harrison and what he would probably say in the locker room to his boys if they had gone out and they were going up against a quarterback he didn't think was very good. Like that's what you saw. That's what you heard. Now some of it's made for TV.
Yep.
But like today's day and age and world, they're not okay with that. They're not okay with harsh criticisms. They're not okay with really how things used to be, how things sometimes are. I don't know that locker rooms are like that as much anymore. Like I think this younger group of players is more kind of buddy-buddy. Like it was funny after this past week's game calling Minnesota Carolina, you look down on the field and my play-by-play partner Alex Faust looks at me and goes, "Doesn't that look kind of funny?"
What up, Alex?
And I said, "Yeah." And how all portrayed is you had a bunch of dudes laying down on the ground, down on their knees, all with jerseys. They're signing them, they're swapping them all. I was like, that ish never happened. Never happened when LaVar played. Go back whenever you want. Like it's changed now where guys just aren't as critical of one another. And you know, I'm not trying to defend Rodney Harrison and necessarily what he's saying. I'm saying all he was giving you a glimpse of really what he probably would have said if he was still playing in the locker room. And so it came off as completely unwarranted from a TV standpoint because there's really no point to talk like that, even though he's not insulting him as a person. He's just kind of talking about what he's seen on the field so far. So it's his own opinion. I mean, he's got to live with it. That's part of being on TV is when you say something, you have to live with those words. But I think in that instance, Rodney was just telling you exactly what he'd be saying if he was a player. And it's funny because it's the one thing that the media and fans all claim they want to hear. And then as soon as they hear it, they can't handle it. Yeah.
Rodney, that's what Rodney was known for as a player. If people don't remember Rodney Harrison as a player, Rodney Harrison was a dog.
And he was nasty like that. He was a smack talker. He was physical. He'd be grabbing and holding. I mean, he'd be doing anything he could to get you out of your game.
We had our moments. I hit Doug Flutie one time, and I think it was like an offsides or something. I hit him anyway, and Rodney was barking at me. I was like, Rodney, I'll beat your ass, man. You don't shut up. But he don't care. He don't care if you're bigger. He don't care. Like, he don't care. He's a dog. Like, he's the type of dude you love to have as your teammate, and you hate to play against him. Like, that's he earned that reputation. And you had him and Sayai on the same team. It's just crazy. Think that they were on the same team. But the one thing about a dude like Rodney Harrison is he always is going to shoot from the hip, and he don't care. Like, and he does it well enough where, he's not going to find himself really in trouble. He shouldn't find himself or found himself in trouble saying what he said. I'm sorry. There are a lot of people that have said worse about Zach Wilson. So for people to be up in arms about something that Rodney said that wasn't glowing about Zach Wilson, like you said, he wasn't taking a personal shot at him. He's just talking about his game. And his game has not been special. I mean, I think people have been pulling for him. The people who have pulled for him are pulling for him. The people who feel like he can't do it and the gig is up for him, they feel the way they feel. Everybody has their opinions, as you mentioned. Like, he gave his opinion. He thought and let's be clear. Like, when you call something trash, you're going for effect. Right. Like, you're not saying that he's trash. Like, it's a word that you use. It's a trash talking term.
It's such a great term
for effect.
It's a great term.
It's like you're driving for effect, right? So in the end,
so demeaning.
If that's too much for you to handle, to be honest, you're in the wrong profession. If somebody calling you trash as a professional athlete is inflammatory to you, is disturbing to you, you're hurt by it because a commentator, an analyst said that he's trash or he's not, there was nothing special about his game. This was a special moment. It's a special game for him. If you can't handle that, if that's upsetting to you, you're in the wrong profession. That's what I would say. And I'm not throwing that at Zach Wilson. I'm just saying anybody who's acting as though Zach Wilson shouldn't be able to shoulder that, or that shouldn't like roll off of him like water off a duck's back. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not that big of a deal.
I think the thing that bothered me about at least the position Rodney Harrison was in was the dude does have arguably maybe his best night, even in a losing effort on a big stage. At least this season, maybe in his career. I don't know. He's had some other games. But, like, at no point as an analyst do you point that out. Do you make mention of that? I mean, he outplayed Mahomes. And as an analyst, like, you got to – regardless of what your thoughts are coming into the game, you got to give him credit for that. And so it's a little surprising just the way he handled it and conducted himself with it. Almost like he just – I don't know if – again, not like a vendetta – but when you said before, like, he did it for an impression, and maybe you're doing it to draw attention to what you're saying, but it's not good analysis. Like, in that position, give the guy credit. He played well. He gave his team every chance to win that game. It was not Zach Wilson's fault that they lost that game. And yet he didn't want to acknowledge that at any point in time. And that's kind of what bothered me from how he handled it. It's just it seemed like he did have – I don't know, a malicious intent with how he was trying to get Chris Jones to say something controversial, trying to make something buzzworthy.